Slumps, ruts, falling off the saddle, whatever you want to call it, it happens. Life sometimes gets in the way, we have bad days, and eventually we're in this position that we don't want to be in. Whether that be not doing your habits, not working out, not following your diet, you kind of feel bad about it. But the thing is, consistency isn't doing the same thing every day for 3 years, it's still doing the thing regularly after 3 years. The thing about slipping up and falling off the saddle, or whatever you kind of want to use for it, is that it happens. Expect it to happen, because life will get in the way. You'll be trying to go to a gym session and your car will break down, or a family event will come up or something. Life will get in the way. But when you hit these ruts, when you hit these kind of slumps, and you want to get back on track, there are some things that you can do to make it a lot easier. And this is what has helped me tremendously whenever I've been in a slump or rut. Firstly, you need accountability. So do things with a friend or an accountability partner, because it's been proven that when you do something with someone else, there's that kind of rivalry, that kind of another person watching what you're doing, you don't want to let them down. Secondly, I'd say is another form of accountability, which I use all the time, which is a habit tracker. And you just want to track the days that you are doing these things that you say you need to do, or you're saying you're going to do, or you want to do, and you just tick each time you do it. And the main goal is to not miss 2 days in a row when it comes to doing your habits. Third, I'd say is stakes. Make a bet with a friend saying that if you don't go to the gym 5 times this week, you'll pay them $10. And it might not be enough, but it's enough of an incentive to make sure that you keep going regardless. One thing as well I'll say is that you've got to let go of the fact that you've reached a slump, because beating yourself up over it is not going to make the situation any better, really. You're just going to feel like crap because you were up here and now you think you're down here. The thing that I like to do is to remind myself, and I have a sticky note of it actually, the fact that I have done what I have done is proof that I can do what I need to do, which has always been helpful when I get into a slump. I have done much bigger things. I have climbed much higher mountains, so therefore this little hill is nothing in comparison. One thing I'll also say is start so small that you cannot fail, because when we are in a rut, we tend to compare ourselves to who we were before when we weren't in this state. Maybe before you were going to the gym for an hour each day, but now you're not working out at all. And it's easy to think like, man, I was so great back then. I was so amazing. I was so good. You've got to realize that you're technically not the same person that you were back then. You have been someone who hasn't been working out frequently. And so there's going to be a lot more friction to get to that point again. One of the things that I like to use as an analogy is that it's like a snowball. You're trying to push this really big snowball and you have not gained any momentum yet. You have to start with a small snowball and then push it, gain that momentum, and you'll start picking up more snow, and you'll soon quickly be where you were. It is a lot better to start off small than it is to start off really big, or to try and get to where you were previously. It's kind of like trying to fight the final boss, but you've lost all your gear. It's just not going to go well, and you're going to get despondent with it. You're going to be let down if you don't achieve this kind of task that you set yourself up for. You've set this goal in mind, fully well knowing you don't have the momentum to get there, and then you get upset when you don't get there. And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, because when you're in a slump, you want to instantly get out of it. You know, tomorrow be back to where you were, but it doesn't work like that. You've got to really start small again, painfully small sometimes. If you were reading 10 pages a day and you can't, you're thinking about it, you can't, there's too much friction there. Read 1 page, and then progressively overload over time. And you start reading 2, then 3, then 5, and then before you know it, you're back at 10. But you're not going to be able to go from 0 pages to 10 pages. Maybe you can for 1 day or 2 days, but it will be an uphill battle every single time. Ultimately, it's you against you. Everything in life is you against you. It's you against your thoughts, it's you against your habits, it's you against the environment that you've created for yourself. It's always going to be you against you. So instead of being your own enemy, instead of kicking yourself down because you've fallen off the saddle or you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, don't beat yourself up. Be your best friend in that sense. Support yourself. It doesn't have to be all stick. It can be carrot. You can have a reward. You can be like, man, I haven't done the things that I'm supposed to be doing, but if I do them today, then I get a reward. I can reward myself. And sometimes the thing itself can be the reward. The ticking off the box on the habit tracker can be the reward. I find that very rewarding. But you need to be your own supporter. You need to be your biggest supporter, because if you have that voice in your head that's saying like, man, you're such a loser, you're not where you used to be, you're not as good as you were, what happened? Instead it should be, yeah, you have fallen off. but you're going to get back to where you were and take baby steps. You got this. Today, you've got this. 1 page, 1 push-up, 1 minute of meditation. Make it so minutely small that you cannot fail. You've given yourself that kind of motivation in a sense, that kind of victory. It's a small win, but a small win's a win. No one's counting the weight of it. A win is a win. So give yourself those small wins and then build it up over time. And before you know it, you'll be out of this rut. I wish you best of luck.